All right, welcome to Duos, a podcast that celebrates the most iconic duos that have shaped our world. I'm Cart,
And I'm Mox.
and we've been quite the duo ourselves since childhood, so we know a thing or two about what makes a good duo. Each episode will break down the chemistry, the influence, and impact of these duos, ultimately deciding who reigns supreme in their category. Whether you're here for the camaraderie, the hot takes, or just some good old fashioned debate, get ready to discover the most dynamic duos in existence. This is Duos.
Duos. Yeah.
Now I have the sound. I have
Yeah,
the song
yeah,
in my
yeah.
head.
The song,
Yeah.
yeah.
Today we're talking about an element human life simply can't live without on this planet. This element is essential for human survival, and the human body is actually made up of about 60% of it. It's vital for growing crops, raising livestock, producing food that sustains human populations. It regulates the world's climate, creates ecosystems, and literally shapes the world into what it looks like today. Yup, that's right. Today we're talking about the symbol of life, H2O, water,
Yes, sir.
water duos. So you
Yep.
may be wondering, what does that entail? Well, Mox and I, determined that it's any duo in our world naturally existing or man-made that is just paired with water. So anything that's just like paired with water in our world, really. And I don't know about you, Mox, but what is a good water duo to you, or how did you approach this week's duo combo?
I feel like this week's dual combo was a little different than the ones we've done in the past. Really just with the importance, the symbolism, just all the meaning that water holds just within our world. And so, I think for me, any of the duos that really draw out the importance that water has, just across the board for our living and our well-being. I think that for me, that's what kind of like is really highlighted with this specific category of the water duos, because it's something I feel like we kind of almost forget about, of how much we need water, because
Yeah,
it's always there.
for me, yeah, dynamic water duo is one that elevates the human experience and or our world. I think it's a duo that pushes humans to a better place, and then in effect makes our world a better place as well. So I kind of went into some water picks that I think some are natural, some are human made, but like regardless, it's a duo with water and a pairing that elevates human and society, I think, to the next level. Okay, should we decide who goes first?
You want to try Jungle Boy? You like go
Yeah, we can try Junkin' a Poll. I think you're
Junkin'
more
Paul?
stable. You're yeah. Okay, ready?
Okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. For anyone who doesn't
Okay.
know what Junkin' is, that's like the Hawaiian name for rock, paper,
Rock
scissors.
paper scissors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Junkin'
Junkin' Poll. Just hold it.
It's so hard.
Oh fuck you. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
I
get to
got it.
decide.
I got it.
You get to decide.
Um, I'll go first. I'll go first. I like
Nice.
my first pick. It holds a lot of meaning
Okay.
to me. Maybe I'll have you try guess it, but this clue might be a little hard to guess. But this specific vessel holds a lot of meaning to the native Hawaiian culture. You have any like ideas based off of that clue?
Native Hawaiian culture. Vessel. It's a vessel, so it's holding. It
Vessel.
has to do with water. Oh shit. Are you going? I'm thinking like a coconut.
No, 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 no.
Oh
I
fuck.
mean, they kind of do similar things on the ocean, but bigger, much bigger. I'm going
Canoe.
with double hull canoe.
Oh wow. That's a good pick. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean specifically the hokulea and
Oh
navigating
wow.
the open water, the open ocean
Okay,
is
that's tough. That's
my
tough.
first pick. Yeah, yeah, my
That's
first pick.
tough.
And I feel like a lot of you guys who are listening to this, you might not know what the hokulea is. Being from Hawaii, you kind of have a good understanding of what the hokulea is, what the mission is, the purpose, and it's really powerful. What it like kind of ignited within the Native Hawaiian culture, and for the Native Hawaiian people, and it's been very monumental. And so the hokulea is a traditional Polynesian double-hulled canoe, and it's played a vital role in reigniting ancient Polynesian navigation techniques, and reigniting Hawaiian pride in their culture and identity. And essentially, the origins, the Hokulea was built in 1975 by the Polynesian Voyaging Society, which was founded in 1973 by anthropologist Ben Finney, artist Herb Kane, and sailor Tommy Holmes. The society's mission was to explore and revitalize traditional Polynesian navigation techniques, which had been nearly lost due to colonization and cultural suppression.
Well, I just learned this because of, like the doc I did based on Beyond the Mountain and everything.
Yep,
But
yep.
because it said, yeah, like in history that the original people who landed on the islands of Hawaii, like around it was like what, 400 BC or something like that, right?
Long
They,
ago, long
long
ago.
time ago, yeah, they came
Yeah.
over from like the Polynesian islands, like somewhere in the car, like southwest area, and they
Mhm,
via, yeah, like canoe over to the big island and Hawaii, and just like,
mhm.
or just all the islands of Oahu, and that's how they first like landed on shore, the original Hawaiian people, and navigating, just via canoe and via like the stars, right? But I'm sure you'll
Yep.
get into it. Yeah, it's like literally the origins of like our islands,
Yeah, the Hawaiian people.
the
This is
Hawaiian
the
people.
origins of the Hawaiian people, and
Yeah,
uh, also all the Polynesian people, world's best navigators, at a time where there was no technology. Like Carter kind of
yeah,
said, they were just using stars, the wind patterns, the swell patterns to tell them where they were in the world. And I found out recently too that these voyagers didn't stop voyaging. Like they would land on an island, settle there, but they would then kind of like travel back to the different islands. This was even during the time where Westerners were just trying to find lands and they didn't really know where they're trying to create maps. But using stars and being able to tell with the wind patterns, birds, all the natural aspects of our planet, they were able to navigate and travel, which is insane and
it's
pretty
insane.
amazing.
Imagine like you never been on a canoe before, and then like you're kind of on the island, and you're like, bro, like there's this place, like it's gonna
We
take
know.
like it's gonna take a couple weeks, but there is a place over there, and it's nuts. Like, would you be like, okay, I'm hopping, I'm game, like
I
I'm
think I
game.
would first be like, "Wait, how do you know there's a
It's like,
place?"
bro, how do you know? Like, I need
Yeah,
some
and then
proof.
yeah, and then they're like,
But
"No,
then
no,
if they
no,
show you,
trust me."
like a plant or something, or they show you
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
We yeah,
literally got this,
yeah.
like,
A
and just the other
coconut
day.
sailed from over there, so we know that there's something out there. I'll be like,
I'd be
"For
like,
real, for real."
I'll be like, wait, how many times have you been there?
He's like, "No, this is the first time for anybody."
Oh,
Bruh.
no, that's for me. That's why, because I need at least like a kupuna, or like just an
Yeah,
elder who's like, I trust. He's like, he's been there a few times.
yeah,
Then I'd go. I think I'd
yeah.
actually go. Like, I go.
Well, it's actually funny that
But
you bring that up, because I'm kind of going to go into just like the first voyage of the Hokulea. This was like the monumental expedition that the Hokulea has gone on. But yeah, just to kind of wrap up, the Hokulea is the double hulled canoe, like we kind of talked about, and it is used to travel across the Polynesian islands currently. And the name Hokulea means star of gladness, which refers
mhm.
to Arcturus, a star significant to the Polynesian navigation. But then, yeah, going into this first voyage, so it's kind of funny that you bring up needing a kapuna, elder, to kind of lead the expedition. So in 1976, there is very few people who know how to navigate using the stars and using the traditional methods.
By that point, it's kind of like weeded out, right? Because
Yeah,
it's like,
it was a genocide of information, knowledge of how to do this.
yeah, a
Um,
very few, I'd imagine, like still
yeah,
had the skill to like navigate.
exactly. One of the only guys, the kapuna on this trip, who guided the voyage from Hawaii to Tahiti, which is 2,500 miles, 4,000 kilometers. And the leader of this voyage was Mao Pailug, a master navigator from the island of Satawal in Micronesia. And he was one of the few people who still practice traditional non-instrument navigation. And then he shared his knowledge with the Hawaiian crew, including Nainoa Thompson, who you probably know, Cart, is the master navigator
Hmm.
himself. And
Yeah.
long story short, the this voyage, which I think took maybe weeks, maybe a month, but the voyage was successful and it reignited a pride within the native Hawaiian culture and identity, demonstrating the advanced skills that Polynesian voyagers had at that time, but we still have today. You know, because it was like showing that like we can still do this, and using our traditional practices, we can still do things. Because kind of just going into a brief history of Hawaiian culture, after the Kingdom of Hawaii was overthrown, the United States, you know, like most places that colonize another place, they try to genocide the culture. So, you know, you can then kind of step in and be American and kind of lose your sense of identity.
Not even like teaching Hawaiian history, just really of like what had happened. It's just all U.S.
Yep.
history.
And you couldn't speak the Hawaiian language. You couldn't practice hula at that time. All this was, if you're in the school and you were speaking Hawaiian, you would get punished. At that time, it was like slaps, like cracks. It would like bring out the ruler and, you know, discipline them. And the hokuleo was one of the first ignitions of this rebirth of the Hawaiian culture and the Hawaiian identity. And it really kind of revitalized. It was the start of a revitalization movement across Hawaii and even other Polynesian islands as well. From that time, they've taken numerous voyages across the Pacific and have been really important in an educational aspect. They've gone on diplomatic missions, promoting environmental stewardship, cultural exchange, and the idea of malama honua, which is to take care of the earth. And
Hmm.
then in 2014 to 2017, they went on a worldwide voyage, which is
That's
insane.
right.
So out
Yep.
of the Pacific, going into the Atlantic, traveling across the world, only using stars, no other form of technology. And they traveled to 150 ports in 23 countries. And the goal was really to share this knowledge of taking care of the earth. And so, yeah, I mean, the legacy of the Hokulea is huge across the world, but specifically where we're from, Carter, in Hawaii, with the Native Hawaiian culture and people and their identity. And
Yeah,
so, you know, it's a monumental piece of history at this point for sure.
definitely. Yeah, I love it, brah. And shout out Miss Fuller, my sixth grade history teacher. I believe she went on a leg of the
Oh
trip. It was
yeah.
like a big day. I think she you remember that? But yeah, she was my introduction to like yeah, all of the history of that. And it was especially awesome, like even at Iolani, you know, it's not like Kamehameha
Mm,
schools or anything, but you
yeah,
still
yeah,
like in elementary school they did still like integrate, you know, the Hawaiian history and
yeah.
everything. And we went to the Big Island and we saw like, you know, we were learning all about it. So I'm super grateful for that at least. And
Hmm.
then throughout high school too. I mean, because that's the place where we live, so it's important to know the culture. I mean, that's partly like who you are too. So, but that's such a great pick. Yeah, the Hokulea, and that's literally the origins of our island. So that combo with the water, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for a
Hmm.
canoe and the open ocean and the stars, we wouldn't probably wouldn't be here or like wouldn't
Yeah.
be the way we are today or like the islands wouldn't be the way they are.
And then also just like the connecting, you know, how I was kind of talking about it with the connecting factor of the ocean, the fact that you can, which is insane to me, that you can sail from Hawaii, go all the way to Tahiti. I think they on the worldwide voyage went into Germany, went into like, you know, some of Western Europe even, all the way around there. The connecting aspect that the ocean has, I think is really powerful and shows that no matter what the differences are, we're all very similar in the sense of that we are all connected, you know, by the ocean.
Sorry, I just had to bring this up. So you think there was zero tech on the canoe?
Oh, for Hokulea?
Yeah, it's like confirmed, right? Like I
Yeah,
believe that there
nothing,
was like there's
nothing.
nothing. I was thinking that man, even in like 2010, you know, like when the iPhone started coming out and stuff, like you think one guy was like, oh, bro, like just kind of brought the phone on the
Brought the
side
phone out. Wow.
just in case I have my Find My iPhone on, like just in case I'm gonna
uh,
bring this,
I
and
think
then
if it was me and you, we would guarantee just have our iPhone just like,
bro, but
you
then
know, just like
we might get thrown overboard.
exactly, exactly.
Oh,
Every once in a while we snap like a little video and stuff in the corner.
you're like, hey, what is that?
What is that? Oh, nothing, nothing.
Um, or if you're lost out there, like you're like, bro, like
I got Google Maps. I
no,
got Google
you'd be like,
Maps.
bro, like guys, like I know this
I
is
know
like
we're not supposed to
tradition
not,
and like we're not
yeah,
supposed to do this, but
but I do got Google Maps.
I did bring Google Maps in my bag. And you're trying to grab it and like they're trying to like pull you away from it.
They're
Like,
like,
bro, you can't do
"Brah."
breaking code.
That's not what we do here.
No, but it's that's why it just I respect. It's so
Oh
much
yeah.
because man, it takes ultimate skill, practice, just know around and just knowledge of the ocean, the ultimate like knowledge of the ocean and navigating through the stars and astronomy and everything. You have to know so much. So it's like the highest respect, honestly, for
Yeah.
these navigators. And I've always like looked up to them like a lot. Like since I was a kid. That's a great pick, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah. What's your pick for
Um
this first one?
Mine's kind of on another note, so I'm gonna like completely switch it around. So
Okay.
that's why I
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
my
Let's do it.
respects. I give my respect,
Okay.
like to the
Okay.
Hokulea and like Hawaiian voyaging. Like it ends there. Yeah, respect there. My first pick is one that has to do with unloading cargo, baking brownies, dropping the kids off at school, releasing the Kraken. Yeah. Any guesses?
No, bro. I don't know even know where I'm supposed to go with that. Unloading
Yep.
cargo. Okay, 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 okay. Wait. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, no, this is Are you talking about taking a shit?
Having to do with that. Yes, that's right. My first dual pick is water and the toilet bowl.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is gonna change the pace a little bit. This is
This
gonna change the
is gonna
pace a
change
little
the
bit.
pace a little
Okay.
bit.
I like it though. I like it.
But yeah, dude, the water in the toilet bowl. You don't really think about it. But it's a day-to-day thing that you interact with. And bro, it is
Yeah,
essential
true.
because without the water in the toilet bowl, you'd be dealing with a lot of problems. A lot of stuff would happen. I don't even know what would happen. But let's kind of get into the history. The history of water in the toilet bowl is actually a fascinating journey that goes back thousands of years, combining innovation in sanitation with the development of plumbing systems. So, man, yeah, it was kind of interesting to kind of get into this because I'm gonna just do a brief summary. There's a ton of history, that's why, of like how
Gotcha.
it kind of developed. But early sanitation systems, like we're going back to Mesopotamia. This is circa 4000 BC. So we're talking like 400 BC with like the voyagers to
Yeah.
the islands of Wow. This is 4000 BC. And it makes sense because people, as soon as like cavemen were
Yeah.
there, people were probably shitting all over the place. Like,
I heard the Egyptians used to shit in the Nile. Like they would just shit in the Nile and it would just like float
I mean,
down
it
the
makes
Nile.
sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, get it out,
Yeah.
get it away from me, right?
Yeah.
Some of the
Yep.
earliest evidence of sanitation systems can be found in the Mesopotamian cities, which had a simple drainage systems to channel waste away from residential areas. And then, like you were saying, it moved on to Indus Valley civilization, 2500. And the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had some of the world's
Mm.
first indoor toilets connected to a sophisticated drainage system, which used water to carry away waste. So this was like one of the
Whoa.
early human like kind of inventions and thoughts. But then
Could not.
again,
Yeah.
going on to like what you said, ancient Egypt, 2100 BC, they used a form of toilet that involved a limestone seat placed over a container of sand, which should be emptied regularly. Oh, I guess they also pooped in the Nile. You're
Mm.
saying?
I heard they used to poop in the Nile and stuff because I remember learning about
Oh
that
wow.
with like maybe Mr. Dubs taught us this because he would talk about how you never shake a man's left hand because that's their wipe hand back in like the ancient times. Like they would wipe and then just wash it off in the
Oh really?
Nile type of deal. Yeah, I swear that was Dubs. Shout out to
That
Mr.
also
Dubs
sounds
that day.
like something he would just like make up
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't
But
know. I
it
don't
is, yeah.
know.
Anyways, fast forward to Roman innovations, circa first century BC. The Romans took sanitation to a whole new level with their public latrines, which often consisted on long benches with holes under which water continuously flowed to carry waste away. So man, upgrades by upgrades per civilization, you know what I mean? So yeah, the Romans kind of had it going, they had it good, and then there was a fall of the Roman Empire, right? Then you
Mhm.
have the dark times, the dark ages of sanitation. This was during the
Oh,
medieval times. So during the medieval period, yeah, not a great
savages.
sound, not a great sound to this era. But much of the progress made by the Romans was stripped away and lost,
Mm.
and sanitation practices were rudimentary. People often used chamber pots, which they would empty out of their windows onto the streets. Remember, we learned about this actually.
Yeah,
So like,
like the
dude,
Black Plague,
you're
right?
tossing, yeah, you're tossing the stuff on the street, man. Like,
Mhm.
and look what that caused. The black,
Mhm.
yeah, like the black
Mhm.
plague, like sicknesses, everything. So it's essential for like good health
Mhm.
and just human survival. Honestly, like having good sanitation and like plumbing systems. But then it really, what really turned the corner on all of this was the invention of the flushing toilet. So this is where we're at kind of more today. Sir John Harrington, that's his name, 1596. An English courtier, godson of Queen Elizabeth I, he invented a device called the Ajax, AJAX, which used water to flush waste through a pipe. However, it wasn't widely adopted at the time. So he was up to something trying to like pitch this thing like, bro,
Mm,
like I got
come
this.
on, this is
Like,
the
come on,
future.
like this is it. And they're like, bro, what are you talking? We toss our shit, like just
We
toss it
toss it out the
outside.
window.
And then it really laid the groundwork for the widespread adoption of toilets. And then we fast forward again, late 19th century. This guy named Thomas, this guy named Thomas Crapper. That's literally his name, Crapper, like
Wow,
Crapper.
he was
While
born for
Thomas,
this.
while Thomas Crapper did not invent the toilet, he was instrumental in popularizing and redefining its design. He improved the S-trap system and developed efficient flush mechanisms, leading to better hygiene and reliability in toilets. And we'll talk about the S-trap system later because you don't realize how important the plumbing. You know, the plumbing
Mm,
goes like that, like the it's like a
hmm.
S, it's like wiggly. It's actually
Yeah.
essential to like trap spells and shit and like not prevent things from coming back. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Dual toilet flush toilets were developed in the 20th century, later 20th century, as you know that. Then they really went crazy with like the Japanese toilets. You know, you press the thing, it like shoots you, like it washes your ass and everything. And it's like
I've always been scared to use it, bro.
I think I've used it maybe once. It was
Was it good?
I wasn't like
Enjoyed it?
enjoying it. I
Okay,
mean, it was
okay.
just like it was kind of it's like experience. I don't know. It's kind
I've
of
heard it's really nice.
I guess
I'm just a little
it's good
scared.
to like
I don't
wash it.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like it's not super comfortable, but I guess you can get used to it.
yeah.
Today's toilets continue to evolve with innovations focused on water conservation, comfort, and hygiene. So the bidet function, self-cleaning systems, like we're saying, and the journey of the water and the toilet bowl is a testament to human ingenuity in solving one of civilization's most basic yet essential needs. Again, you don't think about this that often, but for me, yeah, okay, what I like most about it is what I realized, and why this came to mind, kind of is it does mask the smell of poop almost immediately. Have you ever smelled a hot turd outside straight on the ground? No, maybe a dog shit. Yeah, now imagine that coming from a human being stuffed with a double double fries and a chocolate shake on a hot summer day. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
gnarly.
that's facts.
Um,
That's facts.
okay, and then we get it, but however, the tranquil seal of the toilet water. It's just simple. It's a seal of the toilet water.
Yeah.
When met with a force of impact so large, it cast a wave over the islands of Oahu. Bends to the unimaginable force of the unit and creates a ripple splitoosh effect until diffusing the smell of the extraordinary by at least 60 to 70%.
Yeah.
Like
That's
at
a
least
great way to put it, bro.
but you at
That's a
least you
great
do
way to
have
put it.
like it still can be smelly, but like does like
Yep.
wave over and just completely diffuse the
Trap
smell.
it. True.
And it's something you don't think about. Then you just flush it and you're able to get rid of whatever you got going almost in an instant, completely sending your discard away and straight into the ocean where they're navigating the
Yeah,
Oakland. I'm just
is that
kidding.
where it goes? Is that where it goes? Like in the
No,
ocean, or is it
no,
in
it gets no.
the sewers?
I heard it's in the sewers, and that's when they pump in. They do like blast it with bacteria killing like they do like
Mm,
have the system that like processes it, and then it
mm,
goes into the ocean. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
and then it goes into
Okay.
the ocean.
That's
But it does
better.
flow into the. It's not like straight into. Yeah, it's hard to. I know it sounds very simple and it's like a day to day thing, and it's kind of it's surrounded by kind of a gross part of like human existence, but it's what
Hmm.
we are and
Hmm.
it's essential. But
Hmm.
I think the toilet is one of the best water devices ever invented, and it's just a triumph of human achievement, truly. And
Yep.
it does upgrade us in society. It makes us civilized. Like the
Hmm.
toilet system and the water in the toilet, like does is huge for the the growth of people. I know it's a man-made thing; it's not as natural, but it just shows like innovation and just like the human development and everything. And in the words of Thomas Lynch, who wrote The Undertaking: Life Studies from the Dismal Trade, he says, quote, "The flush toilet, more than any single invention, has civilized us in a way that religion and law could never accomplish."
Wow, that's a statement. That's a
It's a
statement right
statement.
there.
A statement. But
Wow.
yeah, imagine your life without a toilet, bro. It'd be
Yep.
tough. It'd
Oh
be. I
yeah.
mean, it would just be going back a few notches. It'd be going back
I
in
mean,
terms
you
of
talked about the
development, society.
repercussions. I mean, that we learned with the Black Plague and just the unsanitary way that they were doing things. Water as a whole for like sanitation purposes is critical. Yeah, it's like vital. Yeah, great one, bro. It's actually funny. Your pick kind of almost directly goes into my next pick.
Oh, sweet.
So here, I'm gonna paint like a little picture, and I feel like you're gonna get it kind of right away. So imagine this: we just got done with a brutal basketball practice, like suicides on suicides. Jonah Buchanan kept missing his free throws, and stuff. So we had to keep on running. Everyone was missing their free throws, so we had to keep on
Mhm.
running. We're just like battling. Our knees are all sore and everything. We're like gasping for air. And, we finally get done with practice. We walk down into the locker room. What's like the first thing that you want to do the moment you get into the locker room?
The moment I get into the locker room,
Yeah. After like a long, hard practice filled with sweat, all of it.
I mean, definitely like you're getting ready to shower.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
thought you was like a trick question or something. I was like,
Yeah. I
maybe
know.
use the bathroom first. Honestly, like use the
Yeah.
toilet and then you
Yeah.
go hop in the shower right after just to
Yep.
clean it all off.
So for me, it's the aspect of a workout followed by a piping hot shower. And I'm talking
Oh, a
about like for
hot
me,
shower.
a hot shower, bro. Like just let it like all kind of like drain away and stuff like that. Like I remember
Mm,
in Iolani after football practice, basketball practice, track, whatever it was, those showers, just turning it on, going like full blast and just I would stand there for a little bit and just like
yeah,
let the water run over me, the hot
yeah.
water, relaxing the muscles and just that was almost like the first recovery process. And I don't know if you remember, but I would do like strength and conditioning with Coach Dom. Shout out to Coach Dom Ohuna at Iolani Strength and Conditioning Coach. But we would do like one-on-one training, and the moment we were about to finish up, he would always tell me, in the first 15 minutes, take your protein and get a hot shower. He said that was like the two most important things to recovery
A
is
hot shower. That's interesting. Because
protein and a hot
I
shower.
when I'm like sweating and I'm like hot after like conditioning session or something, I kind of like blasted myself with the cold or just getting the
Mhm.
opposite. But yeah, I'm interested about the hot shower. I do love hot showers like overall, regardless. But I do like cooling off with like a cool
Yeah.
like shower, especially after I've been like out in the hot sun or whatever.
So the science is actually, and I've kind of learned this with time. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but to my knowledge, it's a hot shower in like the last minute throwing it on for a cold. The science behind it is the hot shower is leading to muscle relaxation,
Makes sense.
decreased inflammation, mental and like stress relief, flexibility in your joints. And then the cold shower kind of then traps everything in because you kind of want after a workout to get the blood circulation pumping and stuff, get like the old out, new in. And then
Hmm.
I think the cold shower kind of just like brings everything back down and stuff like that and
Mm,
almost kind of like restarts it. So then when you start to warm
mm.
up from the cold shower, it's like your body's almost reprogramming itself with like new blood
That makes
flow.
sense.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
shocks it a
stuff.
little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Go through a little shock. And also the good thing with the cold shower too is it also leads to like right on impact mental clarity and stuff because it's almost you're boosting yourself with all these natural chemicals in your brain and stuff to like do the like new shock that's kind of going
Mm.
on. No, so science is like, yeah, the hot to the cold is like really beneficial. But I know for me, just like throughout my life, it was always kind of like the moment I get done with a workout and I'm like covered in this sweat and it's just sticky and everything. I'm just hopping in that hot shower and like I'll like for me a shower is like I will be in there for a long time and like
Me
really
too.
enjoying the process of a
Love showers.
good yeah
Yeah.
love a shower. Yeah, it's like to
Yeah.
the point where like no, it could be bad sometimes how long I'm in there.
Oh,
And
damn. Yeah. Then you
yeah,
kind of you feel bad about
I feel
because
bad
using a lot of
sometimes.
water. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I know in
Yeah.
college when I wasn't paying for water, it was, it was a long, long shower.
Oh,
Like
damn.
prune, turned into a prune.
Oh,
It was like,
Jesus, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Turning into
it was,
gonna turn
it
into a
was,
fish in there.
yeah, no, it really helped with just my honestly, I felt like it helped with my mental clarity and just almost like relaxing after school, football practice, anything. For me, I mean, there's almost no better feeling than just like letting the hot water just run over you, getting all like the sweat, grime off of you and stuff, and just like enjoying the benefits that the hot water has just on your body and mind. And so, yeah, I don't really have like too much to really say about this, but yeah, that like for me, it's just like like there is like a lot of like health benefits that it has and everything, but for me, it's more about the feeling, like what emotions do I feel after this, and it's emotions of relaxation, like almost like regeneration, and just pure stoke, dude. Like after a
Hmm.
hot shower, I feel like I could be in like any mood going into that hot shower, but when I come out, I'm ready to go. I
Yeah,
mean, this is even like like kind of like more quirkier example, but sometimes like before a night out, like I might not be feeling like going out or something, but if I could hop in like the shower real quick, now I'm ready to go. It's almost
yeah.
like a reset in a way.
Like a cleanse, yeah,
Yeah,
reset. And I'm
exactly.
curious actually, and there's probably a whole other history part of like showers and shower development, but I
Yeah.
think yeah, part of it is just having a stream, like a constant stream of water like running over the top of your head or like from above
Mm,
for some reason is like very like therapeutic and kind of like
true.
almost like meditative almost, and it just has
True.
that feeling of like massage and like, and I don't know how it probably like links back all the way to, I'd imagine, just like rainfall slash waterfalls. Like
Waterfalls.
people would
Yeah.
probably bathe in waterfalls, right? And then
Yeah.
someone to invent kind of like the way like water naturally was too with the toilet, where like rivers and stuff would wash it away, for
Hmm.
sanitation. This way, like
Hmm.
you're cleansing other. I mean, I know people would have like water, like natural water sources of like rivers and lakes, but I
Hmm.
imagine like the waterfall and like really getting like a full cleanse down and like
Yeah.
flushing that away translated to some invention in like everyday homes and everything. So lucky to be able to have that because yeah,
Oh
without
yeah.
the that's the like essentials of like the bathroom.
Yeah.
The
It's a
bathroom is
blessing, bro.
so,
It's a
it's
blessing.
such a blessing. We're so lucky to live
Yeah.
in this
It's like
time.
something
Like
small. You don't really think about it, but yeah, like when you put it like that, just having hot water, that's a blessing. It's a blessing to really have hot water for like for real,
yeah,
because
for real.
a lot of people in this world aren't able to have access to hot water. It's something to be
Yeah,
grateful for sure,
yeah, 100%.
and honestly, after not having this talk, like it makes me really almost reflect on my water usage in a way, and stuff, because
Mm,
it's like I like now that I think about it, I almost like abuse it and stuff. I just am so, like, oh, like I have this hot water and I'm just gonna like let it run for way longer than I probably even need to sometimes. Where, like I'm blessed to have this and stuff, and I shouldn't like take advantage of it. I should just, take what I need and move on, and stuff. But always remain
yeah,
grateful for it. But
yeah.
no, honestly, having this talk, even with the toilet and everything, it really makes me reflect on just my own usage and how I could probably be better with it.
Likewise, man. Because especially like here in LA too, it's like we've kind of been going through a drought the past like few years. So
Yeah, that's true.
you gotta, preserve what we can, or else it's gonna be turn into fallout out here, like something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna switch it up with my next one a little bit here. But I'm super glad we talked about kind of our man-made like experiences and things that involved inventions that really elevated society. I think for the better. This is a place, and you're gonna get this, and it's something special. I think with our relationship too. So I'm glad I'm able to bring this up during this conversation, this competition episode. But when I think of places of serenity, ignorance of bliss, some of my happy places, this specific lake in Sun River, Oregon, and the warm sunlight flickering over its surface crosses my mind vividly.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it is. And you know what it is too. But, and I don't know if I even want to reveal it because it's such a special place
True.
to
Yeah.
me and for us, I feel too. And just the people we've shared it with. My second water duo pick is the secret lake in Sun River, Oregon, and the
Mm,
sunlight.
mm,
Because that's the
mm,
sunlight. That part was a very vivid and like it was a moment for me for sure. When the sunlight hits the lake and you have the sun glimmering across its surface, it creates a magical and serene effect that feels almost otherworldly. I don't know, if you remember us just like staring at the water
yeah.
because the sun was hitting at a
Oh yeah.
perfect angle, and the sunlight hits the water just at the right angle, causing it to reflect and scatter in countless tiny sparkles that dance and shimmer as the water moves. And this interplay between light and water creates a feeling of tranquility, beauty, and connection with nature. And yeah, what's special about this effect that it does literally make it look like there's stars like flickering
Yeah.
on the
It's
surface
like
of the water.
diamonds.
covered in diamonds or liquid gold,
Yeah.
and it enhances the natural landscape. It's a combination of like two elements of just nature, and it's hypnotic, it's mesmerizing. So I remember we were out there. But yeah, we can just talk, like, go back to how we even found this in Sun River. And I don't know, it was just kind of, we stumbled upon this lake, right? It was past Mount Bachelor, or is
Yeah, so
that,
yeah, it's close to Mount Bachelor area,
yeah,
which is close to Sun River, and yeah, I think it was one of those things where we wanted to go to a lake that was really well known, and this is like Carter and Caleb's first time to Bend, Oregon, so I kind of wanted to take them to like all like the fan favorites, but yeah, it was just far. We had a concert that night, and so we just needed to do something that was a little bit closer. And so looked up a spot, and this one lake had good reviews and stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's check this one out. But yeah, yeah, definitely off the uh, uh,
off to being the path.
beaten
I mean,
path.
just to get
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
parking lot, you're Indiana
yeah,
Jonesing it about these
yeah,
bumps and
exactly.
everything.
I
Then you
think you
park,
turned on
there's a
Indiana
short.
Jones. In fact,
I think we
I think
did,
we're
in
listening
fact,
to
yeah,
Indiana
and then
Jones.
and then you take a short walk up this path, and then you're just treated to this beautiful oasis, just surrounded by, I don't know, the pine trees. Are those pine trees?
Yeah, yeah, pines. Yep.
Pine trees. And it's just a tranquil, perfect lake, man. Like, it's basically empty too. Maybe a few other people we saw there.
Yeah.
You can stumble upon, like, right around the base of the lake, where there's like a little bit of like grassy area, and we set up shop with our like tubes and like our little food. We had a couple drinks, played with our speaker, and then on one side you can, once you get out in the middle of the lake, on one side you see Mount Bachelor, right? Like
Hmm.
the peak of Mount Bachelor, and
Yep.
then you turn 180. On the other side there's like a cascade of like red
The
rocks,
sisters.
or some like
Yeah, the
rock, the
sisters.
sisters,
Yeah.
right? Oh yeah, rock
Hmm.
formation. But yeah, so I mean, I'm talking about just the water and the sun. But of course, a lot of the reason of this pick too is elevated because I'm there with you boys, and it's first time, one of the first times I met you, I met Claire. The company, the solitude, the perfect weather, and of course the 360 view, and this slight breeze that I had there would take you out on the tube and provide you with a very natural, like, full 360. I think one of the best shows on earth, just a pure nature, dude. To be
Yeah.
in it, I felt so at peace in that moment. And yeah, it's just a very special place to me. But yeah, I think we are listening to a Lane 8 song too, and we just stared out the lake from the bank, and I swear it looked like stars sparkling, and I was just like,
Mm.
dude, I was mesmerized. And it was a beautiful sight and moment there with you boys. And it's like one of those, definitely one of those moments I have in my mind where it's just like straight up tranquility and like peace. And I think after this moment happened, I think I even told you or something, like, whenever, if I happen to hit the grave before you do, you can come back here and like spread some of my ashes out here,
Yep.
because it's like one of those spots. So yeah, I just had to include a natural body, like, of water, just a
Yeah.
lake. Something's very special about a lake in the middle of like nature. It's like an oasis. It's like one of God's gifts for sure.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I actually tell it, 'cause I've been to that lake. I think we've gone one more time after that moment, but, I've gone a couple times. Anytime I'm in Sun River, I'm hitting it, just because that lake really is truly, special. And I actually tell, if I bring anyone there, I'm like, "Yeah, Carter gave me the approval that," or I'll even preference it like that, like, "Yeah, this lake is it's pretty awesome." Like, Carter even said that, he wants some of his ashes, laid out here and stuff, so,
I'm
you
sure you
know,
get some.
yeah.
I'm sure you get some
And
laughs from that one.
exactly, and then everyone's like, "Oh, wow," like, "Oh, dang," so, but no, that this lake is very special. The one thing I really do love about it is it is an oasis, because you can't, like, so when you're at the lake, you can't really see Bachelor or the sisters because you're surrounded by this little like hills, like around the lake. There's like it's almost like a little crater where there's these hills that wrap around it, and the
Hmm.
hills are pretty empty, but right around you is like these pines,
Yeah,
and
surrounding the
you
lake
know
like towers.
surrounding the lake. Yeah, like these towers. So you're really kind of like secluded. And it's cool because like even if the parking lot's filled, I go out there and it seems empty. There's hikes and everything. So I think people are just go out there to escape and just
Yeah,
get away. And it's so quiet. I think because you're surrounded by the hills. Like I remember you
it's
can
so
hear
quiet.
a bird flap its wings, and
Yeah,
you can almost hear the like shimmering, like the little ripples of the water. itself
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
rippling these
Yeah, you can.
diamonds against the
Uh-huh.
surface. And I think that's something that I love about really getting out into nature is that silence. Because you don't really
Mhm.
get that. You don't really get that just pure silence, and in that way, it's almost that's very meditative. Is that just the silence, and then when you add like the visuals of the like still water with just a slight ripple with the shimmering light of the sun beating against it, it's really hard to beat. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
next
it's
to
magical.
none because it's just like nature is the world's like best show, and it just reminds you that yeah, this lake and this place was there hundreds and hundreds of
Long
years
before you were,
prior
yeah,
to us even being there, and it just existed there, and it's like crazy. It's crazy that we get to just experience and be a part of it,
yeah,
and just like be in it, be present. Yeah,
yeah,
it's truly being like present and existing. This is my favorite, one of my favorite spots, bro, for sure. And
dude.
like
It's such a good spot.
again, is elevated because of like the people you share it with. And again, that's
Yeah.
another thing about duos. It's like people you share it with, the experience you share it with. But even if it was just me
Hmm.
and that lake, out
Hmm.
there, I would feel the same amount of like serenity, I think, and peace within. So it's definitely one of my like happy spots. But yeah, I had to put
Yeah.
it on my list.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Such a good pick, bro. Such a good pick because especially the fact that we kind of share that experience is
Yeah.
awesome. I thought you were gonna go North Shore right off the bat, but then once you kind of got talking about like, I mean, I knew it was the secret lake. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a good one. Okay, going into my last pick. This one is kind of a unique one because it's like a physical action, but it's also a metaphor. And my last pick is the action and the metaphor of dancing in the rain.
Nice.
Dancing in the rain. Yeah. And
Okay.
so the
Nice.
full quote, the
Just
full
any type of
quote.
dancing in the rain, or like singing in the rain type of dancing in the rain solo, or
So
High School
at first I
Musical, like with a
yeah,
partner dancing in the rain.
so at first I was thinking that dancing in the rain was also the name of Singing in the Rain. I thought I was gonna go threes, like three-way and stuff like that. Like it's
Oh,
a musical. It's
essentially, he's dancing in the rain
he's
too,
dancing. He is dancing in the rain though.
and singing in the rain.
But yeah, this one I'm really going about, and I'll get into it, but it's just like your overall outlook on the rain itself. I think a lot of times the rain is seen as like a hindrance or a problem, but when you maybe just change your outlook and learn or and try to like reteach yourself to dance and enjoy and have fun in the rain and stuff, it kind of like leads to a completely different way of you experiencing and living your life. The full quote goes, and it's from the words of Vivian Green, which I think was a psychologist, but he says, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain.
Mm,
So life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain.
mm,
And so of course, like there's like the dual meaning. There's the Troy Bolton and Vanessa, literally Gabriella, yeah, literally dancing in the rain. I couldn't tell you that I physically dance in the rain, but I have been trying to do this thing more recently because I like to go on these walks, and sometimes in the Northwest it's raining, and I'll try to do this thing where I'll like walk with purpose in the rain. Maybe I'll like have like a little strut, a little strut as I'm walking through the rain. Maybe I'll have like a little prance as I'm kind of going through the rain.
okay.
But
Okay.
like walking with purpose through the rain because I
Yeah.
feel for me, especially when I first came to the Northwest and I'm like looking outside my window after I wake up and it's raining and I know I got to walk to class in the rain. I'm like, oh, and instantly like, dang, I'm going to get wet, can't wear my good shoes. Got to wear my, beat up shoes, all this stuff. Like
Mm,
it turns very negative. It turns into a hindrance. And,
mm,
for sometimes it's like people might, if they have something to do, they might just wait for the rain to pass. Like, in Hawaii, I know it's like, it's a very common thing. Like, passing showers, passing showers.
yeah.
Just sit back, relax, and just wait for the storm to pass almost. But the thing I like about this is it almost brings like a childlike nature, a childlike wonder about the rain. And it made me like almost reflect when I was a kid because to my memory, when it rained, it was almost like a bonus. It was like, oh, you're telling me I get to play in the rain? Like, oh, for recess, like not only do I
Yeah,
get
it's
to go to
exciting.
recess and play, yeah, it's exciting. There's like a sense of wonder. It's like you enjoy the rain. You get to get wet and stuff. It's like you get to. I think you kind of lose that childlike wonder as you start to grow up. You're starting to try and maybe impress girls, or uh,
Mhm.
people are telling you it's not like appropriate to just like play in the rain anymore. So
Yeah.
you start to kind of like take this like, oh, it's raining, like, oh, I don't want to get wet. I'm gonna just like wait it out. But then you kind of lose this childlike view on like the rain itself. And I remember like sometimes as a kid, I would always just like I would like to just look up at the rain falling, and because you could see almost every little speck of the rain just falling down. Just like that wonder and stuff like that is something I like. I don't know the last time I ever did that. It's like something that I think is a bonus, like when you can have that outlook. And so then this goes into like the metaphor of how we approach our lives, how we approach maybe the natural life challenges that life throws at us, stuff out of our
Yeah.
control. We can't control the rain, but we can control what we do in the rain. You could either wait it out, you can either sit back and relax, or you can go out there, dance around, have fun, jump in a puddle. This is really about how we find joy through challenging times. It's about like a positive outlook in general, letting go of the past and being present where you are and connecting with whatever nature throws at you.
Great
Yeah,
quote too. And it's had me like reflecting on it a bit. Yeah, just the idea of like a storm passing or something, maybe it's a period in your life that's a little more, it's like a rough period in your life or a rough patch.
yeah,
You're going through a storm, but it's your choice. You choose how to respond to like
yeah,
the rain and the storm. Yeah, I could either just hide away from it, or just like
yeah,
avoid it, or be downer about it, or yeah, you can choose to respond in your own way and like
hmm,
just enjoy the moment and dance through it, and
hmm,
you know that it will pass. But just keeping that uplifting spirit and like just dance through it and find that there's beauty in the
hmm.
nosedive. Shout
Yeah,
out Post
exactly.
Malone.
Yeah, yeah, love that. I love that, bro. And yeah, I think it's exactly that. There's nothing wrong with waiting for a storm to pass. Like that's not. I wouldn't say that's a bad outlook. And stuff necessarily, just to like allow storms to pass, and But I think more recently, I'm trying to get myself to not just let storms pass, but learn to dance in the rain. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. It's yeah, these like metaphors. And as a whole, like one thing that this metaphor that includes the aspect of water, the rain. One thing that like I reflected on too is the importance of the metaphors we kind of tell ourselves. Just changing that metaphor that you tell yourself can almost lead to change of how you live your life, because the metaphors that you say in your head lead to the thoughts, it leads to the perceptions lead to the actions, and then the actions lead to like how you experience and live life. Yeah, no, it's no joke about like the words and the metaphors that you say are very important. And this is one that I kind of just like thought about when reflecting on this dual comp, and I thought this is one that I really want to try and implement and live out more in my life. So yeah,
It's gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
a beautiful pick.
That's
Great pick,
Dancing in
bro.
the Rain. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother.
But kind of on the same beat as yours, on like how water is very metaphorical and there's so much meaning we can find in it, and it's in cultures and in society, it's a very metaphorical symbol in like just a lot of places and to a lot of people as well. But this one, in a way that water is metaphorical to a lot of people, I think this shape of water and the place where it is very relevant and probably special to both of us. Again, wrapping it back around to like the place where we grew up, where we live. But yeah, this water duo causes people to feel thrilled, scared, relaxed, sad, joyous, and even sleepy. If you
Sleepy,
have any
okay.
guesses.
The sleepy kind of like confused me, but
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna
it
say,
kind
I
of
mean,
thought.
like the crashing waves, maybe like
Yeah.
like the sound of the waves crashing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This water duo is where the ocean meets land. It's the wave and the shore break, specifically.
Mm,
So the wave and the shore
mm-hmm.
break. Yeah, the wave and the shore break is to highlight the main attraction of any beach and creates such a clashing of elements, cacophony of noises, a visual that weighs on the most inner feelings of your heart. It's where earth, water, and wind meet at the edge of discovery and the unknown. So as we know, like waves are primarily formed by the wind blowing across the surface of the ocean. So the friction between the wind and the water creates ripples, which can grow into larger waves depending on weed spin, duration, distance over which the wind blows. So it creates an artistic display of water surging. You have the surge of the water, the rising, the cresting, and the barreling over in a dynamic clash of elements. And it is a poetic cycle. It is very metaphorical. And there's just so much beauty in it visually because you see natural patterns and reflections of light, the way that the sunlight bounces off of it and different light plays off of it and completely changes the colors. Like you can have like even the red ocean sometimes or like an orange
Mm,
sunset like reflecting off of it. It creates a spectacle for onlookers, and not only that, but you get the sea mist spraying on your face and you smell the salty breeze and you're truly one with like pure nature again, an element. This kind of like
mm,
ties back to my last pick too. It's like one of those places like on the shore break where you can just be with like nature and can experiences a lot of the elements of the world like clashing at one point where like land meets ocean. And I think it's just a reminder that we're all part of the elements of this world and that the forces of nature, you see the power of some of these waves too. I mean, we know we grew up in Hawaii, like pipeline, the North Shore, all like you're dealing with massive
mhm,
waves, not even like close to offshore, but just like that in view,
mhm.
in your sight, and you see the power of these waves, and it's crazy, and it's just a
Yeah.
reminder that yeah, these against these natural elements of the world, like we have no control over or we have no
Mhm.
power over.
We're very small
Keep you
in
humbled, yeah,
relation
and it's
to
like
what Mother
yeah,
Nature brings.
it's the
Yeah.
one thing we don't have power over. So,
Mhm,
but yeah, it's a real life meditation, reducing stress and anxiety. And it's the rhythmic motion of waves, the ebbing and flowing of it that creates a sense of tranquility, allowing people to unwind and escape from the hustle and bustle of daily life. It's truly an escape. And it's just like
mhm.
you hear it on a lot of like calm apps and like people listen
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
sound to go to sleep. People
Mhm,
like when you're on a vacation in Hawaii, like the moonlight shining over gently rolling waves in the distance. It's a sound like no other. But yeah, before I go into that, another thing besides the mindfulness of it is for many the sights of waves brings back fond memories of beach trips, vacations, family outings. You have like these vivid memories a lot of time, or at least for me personally, at beaches. And I've had like a lot of vivid memories like all over the world at beaches and at the place where land meets ocean because it's just like super memorable for me. And I just share those moments of like kind of reflection, serenity,
mhm,
and just like happiness because it is one of like the beach is like one of my happy spots again. And the waves often symbolize change and the passage of time, again, offering reflections on life's ups and downs. But yeah, going into, let's not forget about one of the best sensory aspects of the wave and the shore break, and that's the sound of it, really.
yeah.
The crashing and roll of the wave hitting the sand and reeling back into the ocean, I think is one like no other. It can't be like
Mhm,
really replicated. It's a natural white noise. So it creates a form of white noise which can mask other jarring sounds, and the soothing background noise helps many people relax and find a sense of peace, making it easier to focus, meditate, or even sleep. So that's why I brought up the sleepy feelings earlier. And nature sounds, including waves, have been proven to actually lower cortisol levels, the
mhm,
stress hormone that people produce. And because of this rhythmic pattern, it's comforting. It's like taking a breath in and a breath out. And it can, yeah, again, it can mimic the heartbeat, sense of breath, promoting relaxation and the feeling of stability. And it's, again, one of my favorite noises on earth. And it's in front of a beach and a short break. In fact, where how this podcast started,
Yeah,
because if it
that's
wasn't
right.
for us having a conversation on on the shore break with
Mhm,
the waves rolling and us just looking out and talking shop and just like reflecting on life's metaphors and the different conversations we've had, this would never be a thing. So it's like one of those special places for me, and I love them a lot. Yeah, let me know. You can butt in it whenever too. I just have one
yeah.
last like thing on this.
Yeah, like you talked about it, but the memories that you have, I can remember some childhood memories of camping out on the beach, and just laying on the cot and waking up to the sound of just the waves rolling, and the sun is still like just about to rise over the horizon, and you just are like hearing the crashing sound of the waves and then the pullback, the crashing sound of the waves and the pullback. It's mesmerizing and very meditative, and it's cool. I for polo poke, the poke company that me and my buddy here, Matt, run. But we did this T-shirt design where we have this fish called Nalu Da'ahi, and what Nalu means
Mhm.
is the waves. And so I actually did some research into the meaning of Nalu for Native Hawaiians, and they actually had like which is really interesting. A lot of the words in the Hawaiian language have like dual meanings, but the meaning of
Mm.
Nalu means waves, but it also means like ebbs and flows of life for
Oh,
them. And
dope.
so they saw the
Mhm.
waves even long ago as like this cyclical nature that life
Yeah.
has. You know, it's like the rise and the fall.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you don't know where you are on the wave sometimes, but you just got to like ride it
Yeah.
out and enjoy where you are and stuff. Like that's what surfing kind of almost takes on is sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low, you know, and stuff. But no matter what, you got to just be present and enjoy the ride with where you are.
That's another good point to bring up, just the surfing aspect of it and how people are
Yeah.
just drawn to waves, right? And like
Hmm.
riding it, and like, yeah, you're right. Or you get barreled or whatever. It's like one of those. A
Hmm.
lot of people say. I personally, I don't think I've ever gotten barreled on a surfboard.
No,
Um,
no.
one day, maybe one day,
Hopefully that'll be
but
awesome.
it's like one of those, yeah, like surreal moments I hear. And then again, like when you get like tossed off a board, you get like pummeled by a wave.
Hmm.
It's a reminder, and again in a
Hmm.
literal like face-to-face sense, that like, yeah, you're succumbing to like nature's forces, and you really have no control or power over
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah. All you can do is get back on your board and yeah, yeah, get back out there.
So it's metaphorical, yeah, like in so many different ways, but even on a wider scale, waves do play a crucial role in shaping coastlines through erosion and sediment deposition.
Mm.
So they can significantly impact beach profiles and habitats, including or influencing local ecosystems. So in the grand scale of things, and like over hundreds and centuries of, of years, like these waves are literally shaping like the world to what it is today. Like
Mm.
kind of like what I said in
Hmm.
the intro, it's like they're literally shaping the way rivers, canyons, valley, like rain, everything. It shapes the world, and it like creates some of the most beautiful things that we know and like see. It's like
Hmm.
without water, like you don't have any like shape. But of course, it's like other elements like wind, fire, everything. But without water, it's like a big element of like literally
Yeah.
shaping the world. And
Yeah.
the moon's gravitational force pulls on the Earth's water, causing it to bulge out in the direction of the moon. So this bulging effect leads to the creation of high tides and low tides in the areas of Earth facing the moon on the opposite side. So as the Earth rotates, different areas experience these tidal changes, resulting in a cycle of high and low tides approximately every 12 and a half hours. So tidal waves are not waves in the typical sense, where it's like wind based, right, generated by wind, but the result of the gravitational pull of the moon. They can cause certain surf spots to work better during specific tidal phases, making tide tables such an essential part of surfing and part of the human
Hmm.
experience as well. But again, it's just a reminder. It's like you're just like playing with, yeah, nature, and like
Hmm.
it's a reminder of like we're part of this like planet and world. But one thing like I will say is like I'd say the shore break and the wave. But one thing for me is you pair that with a sunset, and that's one of
Hmm.
my favorite things on earth. I think is hitting an entire another level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just I had to include it in there. Such a big part of us growing up,
Yeah.
part of our experience in life, and I love reflecting every year. Every year, at least go once out in Hawaii, or whether it be anywhere over here. I just got to go to the ocean and the coastline, and I just kind of reflect and kind of journal a bit. But it's like
Hmm.
it's definitely the place where I'm like I can reflect the most, and it's
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel a heavy connection to it, so I had to include it on my list.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know that was really close to making my list as well, and especially the aspect of watching the sunset. And you know, I know we have a lot of memories back home of us sunset chasing. There was
yeah.
one I remember one of our last days in Hawaii before we headed out to college. We went from North Shore in the daytime. I know you and Salty were catching waves at Keikis, and then we booked it all the way to the west side to catch the sunset. Just me and you, I think. And you know, we
Yeah,
found this little structure that we could just like sit on, and it was one of the best sunsets to my memory for sure, and stuff. But
unreal
watching
sunset.
the waves
Yeah,
crash with the sunset in the background, great pick, brah, great pick.
yeah.
I think looking at just this whole duo comp as a whole, it's cool. We almost kind of matched each other on like different fronts. Like we each had one for sanitation, We each had
Yeah, like
one.
man-made
Yeah,
inventions as
man-made
well.
sanitation. Yeah, we had one that was very natural, and then we had one that was like almost metaphorical in a lot of
Yeah,
ways as
yeah,
well, which is like it's cool. And I think just looking back, like, we already kind of talked about this, but it this going through this really made me reflect on the importance of water as a whole. It's something we all kind of just take for granted. We forget about how vital it is just to our everyday. I mean, we need to drink water just to like stay alive.
survive. Yeah,
And I think this is something that I know for me, walking away from this, I'm gonna step into the world a lot more thoughtful, mindful, and appreciative of just the water and the power it has to connect us, to refuel us, to revitalize us, and provide this sense of reflection. And so, I
yeah.
know that's what I'm going to do. And I hope for everyone listening, our two moms and maybe our dads,
Maybe our
I'm,
dads, just
I'm,
remember to
yeah,
drink that glass of water, really
yeah, maybe,
savor it.
yeah, I hope you guys kind of like had your own reflection and have your own thoughts on, maybe you guys thought of something that really hits for you guys when it comes to water as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we can't forget, some of life's most beautiful and remarkable things we didn't even tap into is like
Yeah.
under the ocean or in the ocean.
Hmm.
Like the whole other ecosystem, like life is just like there. A whole other world is there in the ocean, in the water.
Apparently, we know
Um,
more about space than we do about our own ocean,
right. Yeah.
so that just shows the depths of what
Um,
our oceans have to provide.
yeah, let alone the sky too, and like water in the
Hmm.
sky and all the magic it can create from up above. It's just
Yeah.
like it's on all levels, and it's like rainbows aren't possible without water.
Hmm.
It's truly such a special, like it's like God's gift for sure, or it's
Yeah.
just like our planet's gift, our world's
Hmm.
gift, universe's gift to us. So yeah, but these picks are picks that stood out to us and really remind us that without water, like you said, we simply can't exist.
I think we would love to hear what you guys have, like what water duos make you guys reflect on just the importance that it has in your guys' own lives. Is there anything that, when it comes to water, that you guys do that like brings you guys peace, brings you guys joy? All the things above, comment it in the comment section and YouTube, and as always, subscribe and follow, if to just stick along for this journey as we keep on discovering the best duos in the world. Appreciate you guys for
Yeah.
listening, and thank you, mom. Love you, mom.
Love you, mom. Well, thank you guys first of all for watching. Thank you, mom, for watching. And as we always say, life is better as a duo. And without the duo being water, we simply can't exist. So we'll just flow out with that one. I don't know.
we'll just we'll just yeah, flow out.
um, but yeah, drink water. Drink water. Stay hydrated. Just a
Yeah.
reminder. Who anyone who stayed this long, because like if you haven't drank water throughout this whole listen, bro, like
go
thank
go
you
go
first of
go
all.
catch a sip. I'm gonna catch one. I'm gonna catch a
Yeah, but
sip
we
right
need to
now.
drink water right now. Okay. See ya.
Take care, y'all.